Good evening, Mark here again from Exel and another online tasting such as lockdown. Nobody needs to tell me that I need both a haircut and a shave. I'm aware of both of these things. It's a white wine this evening and we don't do a lot of white wines on video tastings. I think somehow Reds give themselves to these things rather better, but this is a bit special, a bit unusual. We tend to only do the video tastings where there's a need where we think a wine is really quite special, and I think this is one of those. It's an Albarino from northwestern Spain, from Galicia, or Galicia if you will, from Rías Baixas. It's from a producer where we've taken one of their really stellar special wines that got the Best in Show award at last year's Decanter World Wine Awards, from Bodegas Fillaboa, and their very heavily lees-aged wine, which spends nearly 8 or 9 years on its lees. The 2010 vintage of I think it's La Fillaboa 1898 they call it. It's a very special wine. In many ways it's quite un-Albarino-like. It's very affected by the lees. It's a beautiful and stunning wine, but in many ways it's not that like Albarino. This is, it depends where you go with Albarino as well. I mean, I personally find it a little bit of a flippity-gibbet of a wine, a little bit. You may love the acidity and the zing and the floral nature of it, but for me it's just a little bit lacking in texture, a little bit lacking in density. Those are the whites that I tend to go for. And so Albarino's never been quite my thing. With a nice bit of sea bass or some whitebait, it sort of works. This is unusual because it treads the line between that very affected Fillaboa that we talked about, the 1898, and its lees affected density, and a standard Albarino, which I think is quite thin and quite light. I think actually when you put it into the glass, you get a little bit of a sense of that. I don't know if that shows particularly well, but that is not a typical Albarino colour. There is something really quite dense and golden about that. And on the nose, I mean, it's kind of quite Albarino-y. It's got the honeysuckle. I'd say it's kind of more pear and apple. I think the official description says quince. I'm not sure I necessarily get that, but it's quite floral. It's not stone fruit. It's not quite that ripe, I would say, but it's got a great nose to it. And actually, it probably needs to be a little bit warmer than this. But also, you start to get a little bit of that sort of champagne yeasty smell as well. But you see, there's the thing. That's where it's different. It's much richer. It's much thicker. It's much deeper as a wine. Don't worry, it's not all glycerine-y, it's not all syrupy, it's not all thick. There's a lot more texture to it. And it's because it spends a full year on its lees. This is a 2016 vintage. So this spent a year in steel on its lees before it was bottled. And it really shows. It's given it a thickness, a density, but without taking away that Albarino character. I think this is absolutely wonderful. We're just going to get it into the UK at the moment. That's not proving to be very easy. By the time, hopefully, you see this, it will be well on its way. As Albarinos go, this is really interesting, and I think just a lot more depth, a lot more richness, a lot more interest, and it's neither either end of the Albarino spectrum. It's not hugely leesed and almost the Albarino's all gone. Neither is it down the other end, and it is just a bit lightweight and thin. This is a fabulous Spanish wine and a little bit unlike Albarino, but like it enough that you can enjoy it as an Albarino. Good evening.